Before we dive into today's story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the next hidden treasure we uncover together. If you're someone who appreciates history, rare finds, and the thrill of discovering value where others see ordinary, you're in the right place. Now imagine this for a moment. You're holding a simple coin. It looks worn, maybe even forgotten, something that could easily pass through dozens of hands without a second glance. But what if I told you that this very coin, something most people would ignore, could hold a story so powerful and a value so shocking that it could change the way you look at every coin forever? Today, we are talking about a 20-cent coin from 1980. Yes, just 20 cents. At first glance, it feels insignificant. Small denomination, common era, nothing flashy. But history has a way of hiding its secrets in plain sight, and this coin is no exception. Let's go back to 1980. The world was different. Economies were shifting, political landscapes were evolving, and currencies were quietly reflecting these changes. Coins minted during this time weren't just money. They were symbols of a nation's identity, its struggles, and its transitions. Every detail on a coin, from the design to the metal composition, carries meaning. Now here's where things get interesting. Not all coins from a particular year are created equal. Some are struck with tiny differences. Sometimes it's a minting error. Sometimes it's a variation in design. And sometimes it's a limited batch that was never meant to circulate widely. These small differences can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Collectors, especially experienced ones, don't just look at coins, they study them. They examine the edges, the alignment, the sharpness of the design, and even the weight. A slight misprint, an unusual texture, or a rare finish can transform a coin from pocket change into a collector's dream. Now imagine a coin from 1980 that somehow slipped through the system with one of these rare characteristics. Maybe it was struck with a unique die. Maybe it carries a subtle flaw that only a trained eye can catch. Or maybe it belongs to a very limited production run that was never repeated again. These are the kinds of coins that spark excitement in the collecting world. And here's something most people don't realize. The value of a coin isn't just about how old it is. It's about rarity, condition, and demand. A coin that's been preserved in near perfect condition can be worth significantly more than one that's been heavily circulated. Even more fascinating is how demand can suddenly surge. When collectors discover something special, word spreads fast, and the value can skyrocket. Think about the journey of a single coin. It could have passed through markets, shops, and countless hands over decades. It might have been tucked away in a drawer, forgotten in a jar, or even lost and found again. Every scratch, every mark tells a story. And sometimes, those stories make the coin even more valuable. Now let's talk about the kind of people who hunt for these treasures. Many of them are not professionals. They are everyday individuals, retirees, hobbyists, and enthusiasts who have a passion for discovery. They spend hours going through old collections, visiting markets, and examining coins that others overlook. For them, it's not just about money. It's about the thrill of the hunt, and if you're watching this, there's a good chance you might already have coins lying around your home. Maybe in an old box, a drawer, or even your wallet. The question is, have you really looked at them? Have you checked the dates, the details, the small features that could make a big difference? Because here's the truth. Opportunities like this don't come with announcements. They don't knock on your door. They sit quietly, waiting to be noticed. And the difference between someone who discovers value and someone who doesn't is simply attention. Now let's go deeper into what makes a coin truly stand out. First, condition is everything. Coins that are well preserved, with clear details and minimal wear, are always more desirable. Second, rarity. If only a small number of these coins exist with a particular feature, collectors will compete to own them. And third, uniqueness. Anything that sets a coin apart, even the smallest detail, can dramatically increase its appeal. But there's also an emotional aspect to collecting. Coins connect us to history. They remind us of a different time, a different world. Holding a coin from decades ago is like holding a piece of the past. And when that coin turns out to be rare, it becomes even more special. Now imagine the moment someone realizes that the coin they've had for years is actually valuable. That moment of surprise, disbelief, and excitement is something every collector dreams of. It's like finding hidden treasure without ever leaving your home, and this is why stories like this matter. They remind us that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's hidden, waiting for the right person to recognize it. So here's what you should do next. Take a closer look at your coins. Don't rush. Examine them carefully. Look for anything unusual. Compare them with others. And most importantly, stay curious. Because curiosity is what leads to discovery. Now, let's come to the part you've been waiting for. The value. When a coin like this, with the right combination of rarity, condition, and unique features, appears in the market and attracts serious collectors, the price can go beyond imagination, and in extraordinary cases, a coin like this 20 cents from 1980 has been associated with a staggering value reaching up to $16 million.
Before we begin, if you love discovering the hidden treasures of old coins and the fascinating history behind them, then hit that subscribe button right now. Join us on a journey where every old coin could be a forgotten fortune waiting to be uncovered. Now, let's step back in time to something extraordinary. Imagine holding in your hand a small, weathered coin. It's not gold. It's not silver. And yet, in the right moment, in the right condition, it's worth more than many people expect. This is the story of the 1973 South Africa 20 cents coin, a coin that many overlooked, and today, could be worth a small fortune to the right collector. Picture this, the year is 1973. The world is changing fast. In South Africa, the political atmosphere is tense, the economy is shifting, and yet, amid the larger tides of history, something very small and seemingly unimportant is being struck at the South African Mint, a simple 20-cent coin. For most, it was just pocket change. But for those who look deeper, it's so much more. The coin itself features the image of a beautiful flower, the protea, South Africa's national flower. Delicate yet powerful, the protea has long symbolized strength through diversity. On the reverse, you'll find the classic image of Jan van Riebeeck, one of the earliest European settlers at the Cape of Good Hope, often romanticized in South African numismatic history. But what really makes this coin valuable is not just who or what is on it, it's the story it tells, the rarity it represents, and the secret some of these coins carry. Most coins from 1973 have no significant premium over their face value unless something unusual happened during their creation. That's exactly what happened with certain versions of this 20-cent coin. You see, coin collecting isn't just about age. It's about scarcity, condition, and the hidden details that make one coin in a million worth thousands more than the rest. In the case of the 1973 20 cents from South Africa, there are a few key factors that have driven its value sky high over the years. First, very few were preserved in uncirculated or mint state condition. These coins were used daily, passed from hand to hand, buying groceries, petrol, or a loaf of bread. Finding one today without scratches, marks, or wear is like finding a needle in a haystack. And when you do, collectors will pay serious money for it. Second, there are rumors and collector reports of a rare error version, possibly a die variety or slight misstrike, that appeared in a small batch of these coins. Whether it was a slight doubling in the design or a misalignment that only the trained eye can spot, these small differences turn a 20-cent coin into something far more than its face value. Collectors in South Africa and beyond have been quietly searching for pristine examples of this coin for years. Auction houses, especially those specializing in world coinage and African currencies, have occasionally seen bidding wars erupt when one of these high-grade coins appears. And here's where things get even more interesting. Some collectors, particularly those in Europe and North America, have recently taken a renewed interest in coins from the African continent. Why? Because they see untapped value. They see historical moments, colonial legacies, political transitions, all captured in metal. And the 1973 South Africa 20-cent coin sits right at the heart of that story. But here's the best part. Some of these coins have been sitting unnoticed in old drawers, forgotten in inherited collections, or mixed in with other spare change. That's right. Right now, you could have one sitting in your home, maybe something your father or grandfather picked up on a trip or brought back in their pocket. Something you walked past 100 times without thinking twice. For men in their 50s and 60s, this isn't just about collecting. It's about rediscovery. It's about reconnecting with a part of the past you thought was gone. Maybe you lived through the 70s. Maybe you remember how the coins felt in your hand, how the weight of change mattered back then. That sound of real metal hitting a shop counter. That feeling when you saved enough to buy something meaningful. Now, imagine one of those coins being worth thousands today. Imagine telling your grandson that the old coin he found in your desk drawer is worth more than his new laptop. That's not just exciting, that's legacy. That's history speaking through generations. If you're the kind of man who appreciates craftsmanship, who sees value where others don't, and who believes that some things just get better with age, then this coin, and others like it, are worth your attention. Start looking. Go through your old boxes. Visit flea markets. Talk to other collectors. Because sometimes, treasure is hidden in plain sight. Now, let's talk numbers. Because I know that's what many of you are waiting for. How much could this small 1973 coin actually fetch if you have the right one? What if I told you that an exceptionally well-preserved, mint state 1973 South Africa 20 cents coin, the kind graded highly by a professional service and verified as genuine, has sold for a jaw-dropping price in recent years? That's right. One of these coins has been valued and sold at an incredible $3,510. Yes, $3,510 for a coin that once bought you a loaf of bread and a newspaper. That's the magic of numismatics. That's the thrill of the hunt. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because we're just getting started. In the world of old coins, history is alive, and the next big discovery might be sitting in your very own home. Thanks for watching, and keep searching.